All right, so are you ready to dive into this whole HAWK meme coin thing?
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be good.
It seems like everyone's been talking about it, and I know I'm definitely curious to see how Haliey Welch, the Hawk Tuah Girl, got caught up in all this crypto chaos.
From viral fame to financial controversy, it's a wild story.
It is, and we've got a ton of articles here from different sources, so
Oh, yeah?
yeah, so we can really try to get the full picture.
Awesome.
What happened, what it means, the whole shebang.
I'm ready. Let's break it down.
Okay, so first things first, for anyone who's been living under a rock, this all started with that viral video, right?
Wait, Hawk Tuah.
Yeah.
Instant sensation.
Exactly. Welch goes viral, it launches a podcast, even starts landing interviews with some pretty big names. Things are looking up.
She was on a roll for sure.
Yeah, totally. But then things take a turn. She partners with this company over here to launch her own meme coin, HAWK. Now, I know meme coins are kind of seen as like a more fun, less serious way to get into crypto.
Yeah, they often ride the wave of online trends and communities.
Right, exactly. But that doesn't mean they're not risky.
No, not at all.
So HAK launches in early December, and at first it's like, boom, explosive success. A market cap of $490 million. Can you believe that?
It's mind-boggling. A near 900% surge in value, and all within just hours of launch.
I know, crazy, right?
Talk about a roller coaster.
It was pure hype-driven frenzy, all fueled by social media. But as we know, what goes up?
Must come down.
And oh boy, did it ever come down. Within hours, the value plummets, like over 90%. Just imagine your investment skyrockets and then poof, it's gone.
Devastating.
A lot of people who bought HAK got burned badly.
And then the blame game begins.
Right. Everyone's pointing fingers.
Was it a pump and dump? Was it a rug pull?
Okay, so hold on. What's the difference?
So a pump and dump is basically when you artificially inflate the price of something. Like you spread hype and maybe some misleading info to get people excited, drive up the price, and then...
Gotcha. And then you dump all your tokens before everyone else realizes what's going on, and you make a profit while everyone else is left holding the bag.
Exactly. A rug pull, on the other hand, that's more like straight-up theft. The developers just disappear with all the invested funds.
So in this case, we've got this huge crash, accusations flying everywhere, and investors are furious, as you can imagine.
Understandably so.
And then, boom, the lawsuit hits. 12 investors file a federal lawsuit. But here's the thing. They're not suing Haliey Welch.
Interesting.
Right. They're going after Over Here Ltd., the company Welch partnered with, and this crypto guy known as Doc Hollywood. His real name's Alex Larson Schultz, by the way.
Okay. And what are the lawsuit's claims specifically?
Well, they're alleging negligence related to the Securities Act. They claim Over Here and Doc Hollywood basically used Welch's fame and connections to fuel this whole speculative frenzy.
And when the value tanked?
They left investors high and dry. But why wasn't Welch named in the lawsuit? I mean, she was the face of this whole thing.
It's a good question. Some legal experts are saying that maybe she wasn't seen as responsible because she was so new to crypto.
Right, she was only 22 at the time.
And she had admitted publicly that she didn't really know much about cryptocurrency before HAWK. So maybe her partners, particularly Doc Hollywood, took advantage of that.
It's possible, but she did try to defend the launch on X, saying that her team hadn't sold any tokens and that they were actually trying to stop people from driving the price down.
Right, by implementing higher fees.
Yeah. And then Over Here jumps into the fray on X, claiming they made zero profit from the whole project.
Trying to clear their name.
Yeah, they're basically saying they were just contractors and that Doc Hollywood was the one calling all the shots, controlling the tokens, the fees, everything.
Sounds messy.
Total mess. And then according to Over Here, when everything went south, Doc Hollywood just vanished.
So we've got conflicting stories, finger pointing, and a legal battle brewing. It's a classic he said, she said situation.
But what does this say about meme coins in general? I mean, this project reached almost $500 million in market cap before it imploded.
It really underscores how unregulated this whole space is. Things move so fast, and the potential for both gains and losses is enormous.
It's like the Wild West of finance.
Exactly. And we can't forget the power of social media and celebrity influence. It creates these massive speculative bubbles that can burst just as quickly as they inflate.
What strikes me most about all of this is that Haliey Welch isn't being sued. If she really was just, a pawn in all of this, what does that say about the responsibility of influencers when they're promoting these kinds of products?
Right. It's a huge question. Are they accountable for what happens to their followers?
Especially if those followers are young and maybe not so experienced with investing.
It goes way beyond just HRK, too. We've seen this happen with other celebrities and crypto projects as well.
It's a trend. And this case could really set a precedent for how influencer marketing is viewed in the financial world. It'll be interesting to see how the legal system handles all of this.
Absolutely. It's such a complex situation with a ton of moving parts, and it really speaks to this larger trend of entertainment and finance colliding in ways we've never seen before.
And that's where things get really interesting.
We'll dive into that right after the break.
Stay with us.
This whole HAWK thing, it's not just some isolated incident.
Yeah.
It really shines a light on a much bigger issue.
Yeah.
This whole blurring of the lines between entertainment and social media and finance.
It's true. We've gone from celebrities endorsing like soda and sneakers
Right.
to promoting these complex financial products that a lot of people don't really fully understand.
And when you mix that with fan enthusiasm and maybe a lack of financial literacy, it's not surprising to see these kinds of outcomes.
This case has sparked a lot of debate about, the influencer's responsibility when they're promoting these financial products.
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line? Is it just up to the investor to do their own research, or do influencers have an obligation to try to protect their audience?
Yeah. Especially if their audience is young and inexperienced with investing.
Right.
It's a tricky question.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, influencers have a right to make a living and to partner with brands that they believe in.
Right.
But on the other hand, they also have a responsibility to be upfront with their audience about their financial interests
Totally.
and to avoid promoting products that could potentially harm their fans.
And it's not just about disclosing, those financial ties.
Right.
It's also about due diligence. Did the influencer even do their research?
Exactly.
Did they really understand what they were promoting enough to explain the risks to their followers?
Yeah, and that's where regulation comes in.
Yeah.
Because the meme coin landscape is basically the Wild West right now.
It really is.
Anyone can launch a token, and it's tough to know what's legitimate and what's a scam.
It is. A lot of people are getting burned.
Yeah, and regulators are trying to play catch up, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Things change so quickly, and there's a lot of debate about how to oversee this whole industry without, stifling innovation.
Yeah, I think this H.I. Dougio case is a prime example of why we need more consumer protection,
I agree.
especially in this space.
Yeah, how do you apply these existing securities laws to meme coins?
Right.
Are these token securities?
Yeah.
And should they be subject to the same kind of regulations as stocks and bonds?
Well, and that's exactly what this lawsuit against Over Here and Doc Hollywood is focused on.
Right.
They're claiming those guys violated the Securities Act by selling these unregistered securities.
Right. And if the court sides with the investors, it could have massive implications
Huge.
for the whole meme coin industry.
Potentially.
Yeah, they might have to adhere to much stricter regulations.
Yeah, which could lead to more transparency and accountability.
Exactly.
But then there's also the argument that too much regulation could stifle innovation,
It's true.
drive these projects
It's
underground.
a tough balance.
It is a tough balance.
And, it's not just about government regulation either.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a role for self-regulation in the industry.
Oh,
Platforms like X,
Yeah.
they need to be more proactive about policing this misleading content and scams.
Right.
And influencers themselves need to be more discerning about the projects they endorse.
Totally. Like, we all need to step up and be more responsible.
Yeah.
It feels like this whole incident is a wake-up call.
Is.
For investors, for influencers, for regulators.
Oh, wait, why?
Investors need to be cautious, do their research.
Right.
Influencers need to be more responsible with their endorsements.
And regulators need to figure out how to protect people without killing innovation.
It's about finding that right balance.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the legal and regulatory stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on the ethical side of things.
Okay.
This power dynamic between influencers and their followers. What does this whole thing tell us about that?
Yeah. It's a tough one.
It is.
I mean, there's definitely a level of trust there. People follow these influencers because they admire them. They look up to them.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're looking to them for advice.
Absolutely.
And so when that trust is violated, it can be really damaging.
Especially when you're talking about something like personal finances.
Exactly. So then it becomes a question of, do these influencers understand the weight of their words?
Yeah. Do they grasp how much they can influence their followers?
Right.
And do they feel any kind of moral obligation
Yeah.
to protect their audience from harm?
Even if it means, turning down a big paycheck.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
those are excellent points, and I don't know if there are easy answers.
It's complicated.
It is, and I think this case is forcing a lot of us to consider these questions
It is.
for the first time.
Yeah.
And hopefully it leads to more, ethical practices within influencer marketing.
Hopefully, because at the end of the day, the responsibility for financial decisions lies with the individual.
Yeah.
Right? But influencers have a role to play too.
They do.
And they shouldn't take it lightly.
It's about finding that balance between personal gain and protecting the people who trust you.
Absolutely. And promoting financial literacy, like encouraging people to really do their research before they jump into any investment,
Yeah, especially in the crazy world of crypto.
especially in crypto. But that brings us to an even bigger question. As these lines between entertainment and finance continue to blur, how can we make sure that fan enthusiasm doesn't lead to financial disaster?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And it's something we need to unpack further.
We do.
Let's explore that right after this.
I mean, it's wild. We're kind of living in this world now where fandom and finance are all mixed up.
Yeah.
You've got these fans throwing money at meme coins just because their favorite YouTubers told them to.
It's true. You see all these influencers popping up.
Influencers.
Yeah. Social media personalities giving financial advice.
Oh, okay.
A lot of them focus on cryptocurrency, and they have a huge influence on their audience.
Especially younger people, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. They're the ones who are really turning to social media for information these days.
Yeah. And it's not even just about these individual influencers.
Yeah.
It's like finance itself is becoming a game.
Oh, yeah, with all these apps and platforms that make it feel like you're playing a video game instead of making, like, serious financial decisions.
Right. And that can be really dangerous, especially for people who don't have a lot of experience.
Yeah, to get caught up in all the excitement.
Yeah.
And they see everyone else making money, so they want in on the action.
The FOMO is real.
It is, but they forget that investing always involves risk.
Big time. So how do we protect people from falling for all this hype?
Education is key. We need to give people the tools to understand this stuff.
Right. Financial literacy. That's what they call it.
Exactly. And it needs to start early.
Yeah. Like in school.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. It's not just about understanding how investing works. It's about thinking critically,
Right.
assessing risks, spotting scams,
Absolutely.
and understanding the psychology behind it all. Like FOMO and herd mentality.
Yes, all of that.
It's so easy to get swept up in the crowd.
It is. And I think regulation has a part to play, too.
Sure.
I know some people worry about over-regulation, stifling innovation.
Yeah.
But we do need more consumer protections in the crypto space.
I agree. Things like requiring meme coin creators to be more transparent.
Yeah, like tell us who's behind the project and what the risks are.
Exactly. And making sure influencer marketing is ethical.
No more shady stuff.
It's all about accountability.
Yeah. Influencers, platforms, regulators, everyone needs to step up.
But at the end of the day, individuals need to take control of their own financial well-being.
Absolutely. And it all starts with being informed, right?
Right.
This whole H.A. Gray thing has been a roller coaster.
It has.
It's really exposed the dangers of the meme coin world.
And the power of influencers.
We need better investor protection, that's for sure.
We do, and it's raised a lot of important questions about the ethics of all this.
It has. It's complicated stuff.
It is, but at least we're talking about it now.
Yeah, and we need to keep talking about it, especially as finance and entertainment become more and more intertwined.
Exactly.
So to everyone listening out there, remember to stay informed, do your research, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Your financial future depends on it.
Well said, so. Until next time, everyone stay curious, stay informed, and as always, invest wisely.
Hawk Tuah.